These 3 habits have helped me slow down and be present and enjoy my life a little bit more. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Cafe O'Neill. I've got here 3 of the passions that I have picked up and that I have been enjoying over the past few years. Of course, that is drinking cortados or drinking coffee in general, journaling, and reading big books. And the reason why I think these 3 are connected is that in this day and age, everything is so fast-paced. Everything is streaming at you. You have all of these notifications on your phone. You are bombarded by work all day long. Over the weekend, the pings don't stop. Maybe you put your work apps on your personal phone. You know, all of this stuff is just degrading. You know, people have asked me so many times in so many of my videos, like, I don't know how you have the patience to do all that prep for your espresso in order to steam your milk right, in order to do this, in order to do that. That takes up so much time that I could be doing something else while my coffee's just brewing in the pot. But I would ask you, what are you gonna be doing while that coffee is brewing? Maybe you'll be making your kids lunch. And I do that some mornings. I have the pot brewing and I'm making my kids lunch for their day. Or you might just be sitting scrolling on your phone. And there's so many things that have showcased that all of this dopamine that you get from this phone, it's not really great for your mental health. It's not really great for getting set up for the day. So for me, sitting down and making my coffee, it's a time for me just to like disconnect and I'm making my coffee. I'm gonna make my cortado. I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna enjoy it. And it creates that space for me just to sit and just to be, which is very similar to the journaling habit I've started in this last 2 years. You know, you could write whatever in here. A lot of people like to write down things that are like they have a goal, they're trying to get to it. But you can also just write the random thoughts that are in your head. And the way that I think about journaling is it's very similar to meditation. Now, I've tried to get into meditation a number of different times and it hasn't necessarily worked the best for me. I think sometimes maybe if you take a yoga class, the meditation at the end, that's a little bit easier because you've already moved your body, you've already calmed yourself. But for me, journaling, it's pretty easy. It's you just write down your thoughts, whatever they are, and then you can accept or reject them. You can change your thoughts. You can just sit, and sometimes the act of writing down your thoughts, it just calms your mind because it takes the thoughts in here, it puts them on paper, so it gives you permission to just let go of them and to think about something else. I don't know how many journals I've filled up so far this year, but I went through a whole bunch last year. I think it was 27 or something like that. And I've found it very enjoyable. I've actually fallen off a little bit and I want to continue to journal and continue to get some of my thoughts out. And the last habit is reading big books. And I think that this is important. Whether you don't necessarily have to read a thick book. This one is 868 pages. But spending time with something. There's so many TV shows that people binge watch and just things that you can just turn on that just turn off your mind. And this is by no means an intellectual book. It's an epic Western that has these characters who are just living in this time in the late 1870s or something like that. post-Civil War, still very, very frontier. Most of this book is taking place in Texas, but I'm just shy of halfway through. But the characters in here are so deep and it's so vivid. There are scenes in here that are just like etched into my mind. I'm a big fantasy fan. I love fantasy. I read Lord of the Rings, A Song of Ice and Fire before Game of Thrones came out. I am almost done with Wheel of Time. There's a whole bunch of different fantasy that I want to read and that I have read, but there's something about this book that is just phenomenal. It spends very little time on world building. It just allows you to get used to what's going on in the world as things are explored by the characters. But the characters are so real, and the moments that are intense that stick in your mind in this book, they get there because you've spent that time with the characters and you get emotionally attached to them. There's a scene, there's a whole bunch of horses and they are sort of colliding, and just the chaos of the moment and just trying to survive it and trying to get out of there. And then the young man sees his hero, and his hero is there to help lead everyone out of it. There's a moment at a small pool of water where an old cowboy, an Indian who has survived what has been done, meet, and the tension in the moment, even though nothing happens in that scene, but the tension is there and you can feel it and it feels real. And these characters feel like people that you've met. They feel like you can see them in your mind's eye. It is written so well. But I feel like if you don't take the time to read something like this, that yes, there's an adaptation of this. You can go watch the TV show. You can get the gist of the story. You can use an AI summary to summarize this novel and be like, okay, yeah, that's what it is about. Okay. But the whole point is that when you sit with it, you get to experience it. You are living multiple lives by reading books. There's a quote from, I think it's in A Game of Thrones, the first A Song of Ice and Fire book, where Tyrion, the dwarf, he reads a lot, and he is telling Jon Snow Jon Snow asks him, like, why do you read so much? Why do you have so many books? And he says that books are like a whetstone for your mind. Just like you would sharpen your sword with a whetstone, you sharpen your mind with books. And the reader, while the non-reader lives one life, a reader lives 1,000 lives. So novels like this, they allow you to live another life for the time that you're reading this book. You get to go and you get to experience the things that they experienced. You get to be in the mind of the author. And that's what's so lovely about these books, is that you can slow down and you can experience something. And about journaling, you can sit and you can journal and you can experience your own life. And about making something good, tastes good, that you enjoy, spending the time just to try to make it as good as you can. Those things are valuable. Those things can make you feel alive. Those things can help you slow down in this age of relentless notifications. So with that, however you enjoy to slow down, take a moment for yourself and just slow down and enjoy your life and be present. Cheers.